You guys need another minute or so? Okay. Use your notes if you need to, guys. Just a little more time here, guys, and we'll go through them. Okay, guys, let's look up here. So 2 different graphs going on. First one is your skill 2 graphing rationals. We need to factor this first. So that numerator factors into x minus 3 and x plus 1. Denominator is x plus 1, x minus 1. Do you guys see the x plus 1s cancel? What does that create? A whole. Good. So let me write the reduced part. So we know, I didn't leave a ton of room here. We have a whole at -1, and then what's the y part of the whole? 2. Good. Vertical asymptote? Good. Horizontal asymptote? Y equals 1. X-intercept?
3, 0.
Good. Y-intercept? Okay. And guys, you don't even need the extra point this time because you have, values on each side of that vertical asymptote, so you can just sketch. Okay, there's your first graph. How'd we do? Pretty good? Okay. It looked like it walking around that most of you were there. Anybody questions on 1 before we do 2?
I have a general question about just like finding the reflections of the original graph. Like in this case, it was easy because we
had a point over there, yeah.
But how do you know like where the points are?
So if you don't have points on both sides of the vertical asymptote, just pick an x value that's on the side where you don't have anything and just plug it in and get that value. That's all we're looking for. Yep. Other questions? All right, second one. You've got x-intercepts at -1, 2. All right, guys, a little less chatting, more paying attention. What's the degree on this one? 6. Yeah, 6. So what does that mean the ends are doing? Both are going up, okay. What do you find your y-intercept to be? 0.32, I think is right. That looks like it right there. Okay, at -1, we've got some multiplicity. What's your graph going to do there? Bounce. Catch that y-intercept. What happens at 2? Yes, which I find them harder to draw coming from like this direction than the other way, but you can label it if it looks rough like mine kind of does. And then we just cross straight through on that last one. Inflection. Okay. So guys, the skill 1 stuff, you've got to retain it. Make sure you remember how to graph polynomials. We'll keep kind of spiraling back through that stuff in warm-ups, and we'll do a little bit more on review day as well. But make sure it stays in your brain, okay? Got to retain everything this year. Questions anywhere on the warm-up before we jump in with notes? Okay. So for your notes today, I think I'm only going to do 3 examples with you because they're a little trickier with the slant asymptotes and things like that. So notes are not super long, and then we should have a little time to practice, okay? So still graphing rationals. All right, so we'll just jump in and try something. Let's do our first one here is x squared minus 3x minus 4 for x minus 1. So this starts very similarly to what we were doing last class. So I'm going to list out all of the pieces we have to find. We'll look to see, is there a hole? So where is it? Is there a vertical asymptote? And then horizontal, I'm going to put or slant asymptote since that's on the table today. Decide which of those we have. And then we're still looking for the x-intercept, the y-intercept, and if needed, the extra point. No, good question. You will have either a horizontal or a slant because it can't be both like top heavy and bottom heavy. So yeah, you only have one of those. Good question. Okay, so what do I have to do first? Factor, yeah. Factor, see if there are any holes. So I've got x minus 4 times x plus 1. We okay with that? Let me erase my blue line here. So, is there a hole on this one? No, no holes. Okay, is there a vertical asymptote?
X equals 1.
X equals 1, very good. Remember that comes from the denominator. Okay. Top heavy, bottom heavy, or equal? What do we have going on this time? Top heavy. What does that mean we have? Slant asymptote. Okay. So we have to do a little work to find our slant asymptote. We have to actually divide the numerator by the denominator. What kind of division do you think we want to use? Let's do synthetic. I'm going to just squeeze it in. I think I've got enough room here. I don't care if you find the remainder or not. We don't need the remainder for the slant asymptote, so if you just want to stop after the -2, that's fine by me. If that feels wrong and you need to find the remainder, go for it, but you don't need it for the slant asymptote.
So should we do this with the original equation or with the factor?
So the division part is hard to do factored, so I'd go back to the original for synthetic. Yep. So what is my equation then for my slant asymptote? Y equals what? X minus 2. Yep. We divided by x, so we're at x minus 2. Okay. The rest of it is just like what we did last class. I have 2 x-intercepts this time. What are they? -4, and what's the other one? -1, 0. Okay, remember x-intercept, that's what makes your numerator equal 0. Okay, that's where those two come from. And then what do we get for a y-intercept? Okay, so that's the point 0,4. That's plug 0 in for x. All right, let's plot all of this, and then we'll see if we need the extra point. Okay, vertical asymptote at 1. Slant asymptote at y equals x minus 2. How do you graph the line y equals x minus 2? Yeah, it looks like this, right? Where do we start? Yeah, -2 is the y-intercept. And then what's the slope?
1.
Yeah, up 1 over 1. So I'm just going to kind of like sort of dot it out and then make it look like an asymptote. You can see why it is called a slant asymptote. Mine's a little wiggly. Hopefully yours is straighter than mine, but Anybody questions about plotting that asymptote? You guys are good at graphing lines. So. All right, my x-intercepts then. I've got one at 4, 0. And I have one at -1, 0. And then I've got my y-intercept at 0, 4. Guys, I don't think we need the extra point. All right, remember, use the points you have and the asymptotes to find your shape. So I'm going to just let the asymptote guide this. And we're somewhere over here. I'm going to draw that one well. Let's try that again. And that's your graph. So let me stop here for a second, make sure we're okay. Take a look at it. If there's any part of that that you're like, oh, I thought I understood it, now I don't. Ask. Let me know. Okay. We okay? Okay, let's try another one. All right, next one, f of x is equal to 5x over x squared minus 9. So I'm going to list out all those same pieces that we're looking for. If there's a hole, vertical asymptote, horizontal or slant, x-intercept, intercept, point if we need it. Okay, guys, I want you to try to find those pieces on the left. Don't do the extra point yet, but find the hole, if there is one, vertical asymptote, horizontal or slant, x, y intercept. Find those, see if we're okay with those points. And then we'll do the graph together and figure out our extra points. We will need extra points this time. vertical asymptotes do we have this time? Yes. Okay, guys, I'm going to start going through it. We'll see how we did so far. So the denominator factors, but does anything cancel out? Nope. So again, you do not have a whole. Does everybody see how we have two vertical asymptotes though? Okay. At both positive and negative 3. What do you think? Horizontal or slant asymptote? Horizontal. And what is it? 0. Okay, good. X. Oh, sorry. Yes. Bottom heavy, always 0. Good. All right, x-intercept. Yeah, 0, 0. Good. And what does that mean your y-intercept's also going to be? Yeah, that's good. Okay, so let's plot this stuff and then figure out what's actually happening with the graph. We really don't have a lot of points to plot. You have that. Okay, so we get one dot, and then we get some asymptotes. And then your horizontal asymptote is 0. Okay, first, does it feel wrong that you have a dot in the middle of your graph on an asymptote? Yes, okay. Horizontal asymptotes, your graph can absolutely cross a horizontal asymptote. That can happen. Horizontal asymptotes tell you about the end behavior of your graph, like what's going on at the ends. They really mean nothing in the middle. So it's completely fine that we have that point there. Vertical asymptote, you will never have a point on a vertical asymptote, okay? All right, so when you have two vertical asymptotes, you have more sections of your graph that you have to figure out what's going on. So we're actually going to have a few extra points that we have to find. The middle section could be doing a couple of things. It could be like a cubic this way. It could be a parabola one way or the other. We need to figure out what's actually happening there. So we're going to pick a point on either side of that center dot. Are you okay with 1 and -1? Pretty easy to plug in? Okay. So if I plug 1 in, what do I get? It's fine that it's an ugly fraction. Close. 5 over -8. You just forgot the 1 minus 9. So I get -5/8. That just means it's, below the x-axis somewhere over here. Kind of close to a half. I made that a weird dot. And then what happens if I plug in -1? Is it positive 5 over 8? Because you end up with -5 over -8, which is positive 5/8. Okay. So ugly point, but they tell us what's going on with the graph. Can you guys see how that's going to be the cubic shape? Like the negative cubic shape? Okay, so we know the center part is doing something like that. Where else do you think I need to pick points? Yeah, like on the outside, past those vertical asymptotes on either end. So the asymptotes were at 3 and negative 3. What do we want to plug in? 4 and negative 4? Sure, sounds good. Okay, 4 is going to give me 20 over what? 7. Lovely. What number is that almost? 3. Okay, that's almost 3. So I'm going to kind of plot it as if it's 3. So negative 4, almost 3. Or I'm sorry, positive 4. Almost 3. I went the wrong way. Okay, then negative 4. I get negative 20 over what? Over 7 again. So this one's almost negative 3. You guys see it? Okay. I am not looking for perfection on those plotted points, especially when they're fractions. But that gives me enough to know like which region I'm in. And then I know the graph will follow the asymptotes. That's really what I care about, is like, do you have it in the right section of the sort of grid that's going on here? I promise I'm not going to nitpick and be like, oh, that was negative 4, 4. You don't get credit. Like, that's not the point of this. The point is that you understand where it actually is. Questions on that? The ones with 2 vertical asymptotes are always the most work because you've got like just more sections that you have to figure out. Yeah. There could be, yeah. I don't think I give you any of those, but it could for sure exist, because you could still be top heavy with that. Good question. Other questions on this one? All right, we just have one more in our notes here. All right, this time f of x equals x squared minus 1 over x plus 4. So I want you guys to do the whole thing this time. See if you can get the graph. We want to know, is there a whole vertical asymptote, horizontal or slant, intercept, circle. Give you guys a few minutes on this one. Definitely check in with each other. That's not right either. Guys, it's kind of a big trap. If you just leave yourself in a room, you're probably running out of space. Guys, don't forget your 0 and your synthetic division.
Silly.
Yes.
I thought I got an F, but at the end I pulled through and I think I got an A. How did you know? At least I sent my answer over. Sometimes I don't
Intersect way down here, right? So you've got this sort of sideways weave gravel thing on there, and then you've got a All right, guys, let me walk you through it. Oh, do you have a question, Miles? Oh, okay. A lot of you got most of the pieces. This graph is a little big, like where the sections are. So the numerator, x minus 1, x plus 1. Again, no holes, right? You could have a hole and a slant asymptote. Like all of those things can happen at once. X equals -4 for the vertical asymptote. We okay there? All right. Do we have a horizontal or slant asymptote? Slant. Okay, so I'm going to do my synthetic division. Make sure you put your 0 in there. Again, I don't care about the remainder. So you should have x minus 4 as your slant asymptote. Yeah? Okay. How many x-intercepts do I have? 2. They are at 1, 0, and -1, 0. And what's the y-intercept? -1/4. Okay, let me plot all of this stuff. And I'm going to get rid of my synthetic division down here because I need that space. Okay, guys, so the sort of top section here, you've got this going on. Those asymptotes, remember, extend, so we've got another section we have to find. So I'm going to use one extra point. What should I plug in? -5. Okay, so that's 25 minus 1, which is 24, over -1. So -5 to -24, somewhere way down here. I don't know. I'm not putting 24 tick marks. But it gives you the idea of where this piece of the graph is, and then it just follows the asymptotes. So again, that one, if you didn't leave much room for yourself, you probably couldn't graph the bottom part of it. Questions on that one? How many got it right? How many were really close but missed like one little thing? Okay.
Can you just write that as -5?
Yeah, I was just doing the math while writing this. Yeah. So we want to be, wherever the vertical asymptote is, you want to be on the side of it that doesn't have any points. Since I already have points to the right of it, I don't want to pick +6 because that'd be over here. I want to pick things to the left of that. You could have picked like -6, -7, anything on that side. Okay, we're going to do a little whiteboard practice to make sure you guys are doing okay with this. So that's the end of your notes. So go ahead, in your desk, you should have a whiteboard. I do have some more erasers I can pass out, and I've got a few more markers. So if you need those, you know, let's help each other out with finding your markers and boards. Grab what you need. Sure, if you want to. Thanks. Oh, markers are being passed around right now, guys. So guys, what I want you to do is try to graph this on your whiteboard. Once you think you've got it, hold it up and I'll tell you yay or nay. It's yay, hopefully. You can absolutely work together, help each other out, make sure we understand. Go through all those pieces if you need to with the whole. It'll get replaced, yeah.
But when it's in the grade book, I'm still gonna get murdered for whatever is in there for the time being.
That's what I said.
I already have like effective English.
What?
Yeah, she gets good at A and B on everything.
What did you do?
No, literally, Anna has an A and B.
Wait, you're getting A and P's in English? Those aren't supposed to exist this year.
Oh, yeah, sister, it gives us like A and P's on project, like on things that we did. Like we finished it and we turned it in.
Right, but I mean in CIS,
Yeah,
that's not supposed to be an option of things we can type in this year.
but it's there.
Yeah, it's just supposed to be A, B, C, D, F.
It's there. Like, I have an F in the class for like the things that I.
A and P is equivalent to, well, sort of. That's interesting.
I thought they were pretty proficient. And I kept messing up this and I kept adding it wrong. I don't understand. I was literally so good at Algebra 2 last year, and with the test I just took is Algebra 2. I literally got 100 on the last like 4 tests in a row in Algebra 2. I did. Ask me.
Woo! Yes. I mean, the left is sort of weird the way you drew it, but yes. You know what I'm talking about? How that bottom part is curving weird. Much better, yes. Yes. Good.
That's when it's like top heavy, like it's bottom heavy, so it's lower than the
I always forget how to find X's and how to find X's. I know it's so bad.
Once you've got it, hold it up.
If there are two VAs, so like -4 and +4, just plus, and then minus right under the weird plus minus.
That's fine. And then just graph them. There you go.
Oh yeah, why did we Wait, it's too late. Why did we cross the asymptote in the middle example?
Because the point goes through it. You're close. I like the middle, but look at your outside parts again. We'll try to squeeze them in so I know you know what's happening. Just like, which section would they be in? You know what I mean?
You know what I surprised when you did go?
Oh.
Because I woke up this morning and I
She's just making stuff up.
I had a
Like, oh.
y-intercept.
Yeah, it's 0.
What? It's -0?
No, it's not, because it'd be 0 over -16, which is 0.
Oh, yeah, 0. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, do you see why?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. I like your outside parts. I don't like the middle parts. Yes. Look at your middle.
I don't.
Look again. You're like really close on everything, but a little off. You got here.
Wait, which one's the one that you just do the numerator equals 0?
Those are the x intercepts. Yes. Do you understand? Okay. Good. Not quite. The middle part was good.
Wait, why do you have 0?
Yes. Yep.
So school over.
Yes. Good job. Is that one dead? Oh, okay. Want to take one? Oh, yes. I agree. They're much nicer after a little while. Yes. Does that make sense, Flash? Okay. Good. Yay! Oh, dear. Yes.
Do you know what shape it is?
You have to know, you have to find more points. All right, guys, let me show you this one. You can use it, yeah. It's giant, but I should really just like cut it. All right, guys, on this one, you didn't have very many points, but you found the intercepts and all of that. So we had to plug in a few things. When I plug in a 1, I get, what, -115? Lovely. So it's like real close there. -1 is going to give me +115. So I know that middle section is doing the like cubic thing. All right, ease up on the drumming. Thank you. I kind of missed the 1 point, but. Then remember, we need to figure out the outside part. So I would plug in 5 and -5. Five is going to give me 5 over, what, 9? It's going to be positive. -5 will give me -5 over 9. So we're down here. There is your graph. All right, guys, it looks like lots of you got there. Let's try another one. Okay, guys, here's a new one. I factor it to find your x-intercepts. For synthetic, yeah. Oh, no, just GCF.
Oh, wait.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I thought it was x squared minus 2x.
Every single day you say, I had the worst day ever. I've had the worst ones. But today,
Today is yeah, like, I don't know what day it is. I thought it was today. There, no one else said. Yeah, I know, I wish it was Friday.
I went to one. I wasn't admitted to one.
School went to one, or you were traumatized by school.
I said I went to one, not that I was admitted to one.
What school?
Europe was crazy. It was like a World War II.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You couldn't like all islanders. We were in
So it was at the time they still didn't really understand PTSD. They're clinically insane. They're all schizophrenic.
Yeah, that's sorry. Yes. Nice. Again, guys, hold it up once you think you've got it. Yes.
I think that was an insult. It didn't seem like an insult until you had that. I did not have that stuff. X2. Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yes. Really? Shocker. Yes. Yes. Good job, guys.
Yes.
Good job. Yes. Nice.
Like,
No, I've never had it. Not personally. Not
I
personally.
asked for it. I asked for it. And I where? It's so such
Okay, guys, more math, less hairstyling. Okay.
Yeah, I asked Laurel this morning. And she said I asked her about the back then. She's not a real one at all.
And then, okay, what you're doing it so there are no rules that like the BA should be
Yay, yay.
We got it.
Yay.
I really asked Laurel like 3 minutes. I just said, yeah, how am I going to take the bus? No, the hands aren't. My mom is like just
Yay. Okay, guys, here's what this one looks like. You do need to find 1 extra point. Negative 3, gives you negative 15 somewhere down here. How do we do, guys? Okay, one more. And then I'll give you some time to work on your homework.
Ask you right now. No.
Last one for the whiteboards, guys. You do have to factor, guys. There's something else that multiplies to give you negative 6.
Oh, yeah. Those
You need to be able to factor on your own. The leading coefficient.
I will run over your guys. No joke. I can't keep it one with I would say it's
Guys, this one's really what we did last class, okay? Because there's no slant asymptote. There's not multiple vertical asymptotes.
What's the
That right when we had moved in, the first year that we moved into our house, we got a message, a letter, and this is what's interesting. Our neighbors had been saying that it was
Close. That's okay. Thank you.
and then our mom, we were like, oh, look at the neighborhood. And my mom said,
Yes, yes. Yeah. Look again. Sorry, I was like, wait. You have your hole so nicely drawn there and everything, but look again.
I think this is
No, and this is like,
wow, this is like, can you check my drink to make sure
an X. It'd be X plus if you would. But otherwise, yeah, you see why.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
That's the only way that you can record.
I always forget how to do these stupid stuff. This one? You can order this too.
That would be one in
You don't know yet. X times X is not X squared.
Oh, that is nice.
I don't order
Yes.
I don't understand what's wrong.
I just need this is, you know, the denominator.
Yes.
It is
Yay!
what I'm saying. Just
All right, guys. Well, a few of you are finishing. I'm gonna go ahead and pass out. I'm gonna pass out your homework worksheet. If you're done with this problem, you can go ahead and start on this. Otherwise, finish up the whiteboard problem. And guys, I want you to do just evens on this. You can do the others for extra practice, but evens are what I need. And what else is there for homework?
Delta
Math. There's a pretty short delta.
Even only?
Yes.
That's not
Chad, why do you
One more thing.
Maybe 4 hours. It's a spoiler. Although I don't really want to go to the combination. I mean, it's like, it's a good school, but it's the I'd rather go to East. And the thing is, when I see Washington, they have a block on it. I'll just see rowing. And then
I have an eye doctor.
no. Wait, what's here?
All right, guys, this is what the last whiteboard problem looks like if you got stuck.
When was that?
Factoring does not go away, guys. Someday you'll believe me. Someday. All right, guys. So you've got 2 homework pieces to work on. Again, remember just evens on that homework worksheet. And then just evens, yes. Evens on homework. And then, guys, I'll pass back your test here in a second, okay?